Hi guys, it's Miss McGann. Today we are talking about frequency tables. I'm going to run through an example, talk about percentages, so let's get started. Don't forget that when we're calculating percent, if we have like a fraction or we're talking about ratios, when we divide and end up getting a decimal number, to change it from a decimal to percent, we're going to move our place value or our decimal 2 spaces to the right. That's how we're going to find our percent. So just don't forget how to get a percent. So here's our problem. Some students were surveyed to find their favorite after-school activity, and the results of the survey are shown here. 18 girls and 9 boys said playing sports is their favorite activity. 9 girls and 2 boys said reading was their favorite activity. And 13 girls and 9 boys said socializing with friends was their favorite activity. So complete the frequency table to show the data. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our numbers here and place them in the appropriate boxes in the table. Notice we have boys, girls, and the total amount on the vertical side of the table. And then we have sports, reading, friends, and totals for our columns over here. So these rows are labeled boys and girls, and then these are each of the columns for all of the after-school activities. So it said 18 girls thought playing sports was their favorite. So in the girls section, we'll put 18, and it said 9 boys, we'll put 9. So you see how we put 9 and 18? And then this total column down here, we would add how many students responded as liking sports in the total column. So that would be 27. 9 plus 18 is 27. We're going to do the same for reading, friends. So reading, 2 boys said reading, 9 girls said reading. So a total of 11 students surveyed thought reading was their favorite after-school activity. And then socializing with friends. We had 9 boys that said that, and 13 girls responded that socializing was their favorite activity. So that's a total of 22 out of all that were surveyed. Now to get the totals over here, we're just going to add up all the boys that were surveyed. So 9 plus 2 plus 9 equals 20. 18 plus 9 plus 13 is going to give us our total of girls, which is 40. So 20 boys were surveyed and 40 girls were surveyed, which gives us a total of 60 students said that their favorite after-school activity, they gave a response of sports, reading, or friends. So does that make sense for the results? We're going to use this chart to answer the questions going forward. So what percent of all people in the survey were boys who responded that sports is their favorite activity? So now we're going to narrow our focus. We're going to look at boys that liked sports. Looks like we're right here. And we want to know what percent of all people. So that means the total of all people surveyed. So 20 boys and 40 girls were surveyed. And if we add it here, 27 plus 11 plus 22 also equals 60. That's how we know that our total number is correct. So what percent of this 60 students said that they were boys that responded sports was their favorite? So all people, boys, 9 of 60 responded that sports were their favorite activity. So 15% are boys that felt sports was their favorite activity. 15% of all the students surveyed. Now we're going to complete the relative frequency table to show what percent of each activity choice was chosen by boys and what percent by girls, and round each value to the nearest whole percent. So once again, we have sports, reading, and friends. This is the data that we've had from the beginning. So now we're going to do relative frequency. So out of 100%, all the people, it's total, so 27 would be all the people that were surveyed. So out of 27 people, what percent were boys that liked sports? So 9 of the 27 would be the boys. So 9 divided by 27 would give us an answer of 0.33. So we could move our decimal 2 spaces, and that would give us 33%. And so 33 plus something equals 100%. So it must be that 18 out of 27 would be 67%. It would be 0.67 when you divide 18 divided by 27. So I would move my decimal over 2, or it might be 0.66 and you kind of round up. So that's our relative frequency. And then if we do the same thing for reading, out of our total, 100%. So everyone that was surveyed that responded yes for reading, out of the 11, 2 out of 11 is what percent? So that would be 18%. 18% of the 11, so 2 out of 11, responded that reading was their favorite activity. So what I do is I divide 2 divided by 11 to get 0.18 rounded. And then 9 out of the 11 gave us the 82%. So 82% of girls responded, or 82% of the people that liked reading were girls. All right, and then we have friends, socializing with friends. So out of 100%, so out of the 22, 41% were boys that like socializing with friends, and 59% were girls that like socializing with friends. All right. And then Tim says, because 18 girls like playing sports, only 9 boys like playing sports, then girls are twice as likely as boys to enjoy playing sports. It must be true. So we're going to use our relative frequency tables to test out Tim's theory. Excuse me. Is that true? So if we look at the percentages of boys to girls. So if you surveyed a bunch of boys, what percent of them, based off the survey we took, would say sports? What percent would say reading's their favorite? What percent would say socializing's their favorite? So now we're going to go this way. We're going to, instead of doing individual activities, we're going to go based off the gender. So boys, 9 out of 20. So if 100% people are surveyed, there's 20 total surveyed, so that'd be 100%. So 9 out of 20 would be the percent of boys that like sports. So 9 divided by 20 gave us an answer of 45%. And so we were able to determine what direction we're going because we looked at the words that they used. So of the boys and of the girls, what percentages were they? So 45% of the boys responded they like sports. 45% of the girls, 18 out of 40. Remember, like we had to take the total number of girls that are surveyed, divided by the total that responded that way. And that gives us 45% as well. You would do the same thing for reading and socializing with friends. But Tim was talking specifically about playing sports. So based off our relative frequency, are girls twice as likely to enjoy playing sports as boys based off the frequency, the percentages, our sample size? And it looks like, no, they're the same. I don't agree with Tim because the relative frequency for boys and girls is both 45%. About 45% of boys really enjoy sports. About 45% of girls prefer sports. When we look at the percentages, you have to keep in mind when your totals are different, you have to keep that proportion in mind. So really, it's the same percentage. It's just we had surveyed more girls. That's why it kind of looked that way. So anyways, this is how we do relative frequencies. Go ahead and apply it on your own. You guys are going to do great.